So the day that I am recording this is January 8th, and it is Stephen Hawking's, or would have been Stephen Hawking's 80th birthday. And Google did one of their little magical googly bit things that has a name that I can't remember what it's called, and that thing right there, to honor Stephen Hawking's 80th birthday. And so I'm going to watch it. Stephen Hawking has always been intriguing to me. I remember learning about him before I really understood his job and what he kind of contributed to the world. Just understanding how he navigated the universe and his own world was really interesting to me. I can't remember exactly where I first learned about him, but it was reading something and just talking about how he navigated, like I said, being in a wheelchair and not being able to do many things for himself, and kind of the assumptions that were made about him because he was in a wheelchair, because he wasn't able to feed himself, all of those types of things. And then I after that just started hearing more about him, I think independently, and then put the two together. So anyway, I am curious to watch that. So join me in the fun.
My name is Stephen Hawking. My expectations were reduced to 0 at 21. Everything since then has been a bonus. Although I cannot move and I have to speak through a computer, in my mind I am free. I have spent my life traveling across the universe, inside my mind. My goal is simple. It is a complete understanding of the universe, why it is as it is, and why it exists at all.
What did he say? Simple goal?
Simple. My goal is simple.
My goal is simple. I love it.
It is a complete understanding of the universe, why it is as it is, and why it exists at all. One of the basic rules of the universe is that nothing is perfect. Perfection simply doesn't exist. Without imperfection, neither you or I would exist. Black holes are not really black after all. They glow like a hot body, and the smaller they are, the more they glow. We are very small. But we are profoundly capable of very big things. There should be no boundaries to human endeavor. However bad life may seem, while there's life, there is hope. Be brave, be curious, be determined. Overcome the odds. It can be done.
Very cool, very interesting. I'm curious to know, that sounds to me like it might not be his actual voice, like his actual... my understanding is that he had a voice made specifically for him, and there are just little things about it, and maybe I'm totally wrong, I could be totally wrong, but to me it sounds like there are things that are a little bit different than his actual voice. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, and it would make perfect sense if it wasn't exactly his voice. I would be curious to know where the script and all of that kind of came from. Yeah, it is cool. I love that he had a sense of humor about himself. I loved how much of a role he played on Big Bang Theory, and that was fantastic, and that he really enjoyed, it sounded like, he really enjoyed that and enjoyed the times that even I know one of the actors was talking about how doing an impression of him in front of him, because it was part of the script, was in doing the performance that day was very nerve-wracking, but that Stephen Hawking thought it was fantastic. So it's just fun to know that he had a really good sense of humor about himself. And it would be interesting, and I haven't done the research, just thinking about, his message of, as long as there's life, be determined. And one of the things that I know has come up in conversations about him and his disability is that, he had a lot of support, and he had extraordinary intelligence, and I don't know if he would agree with this or if other people around him would agree with this, but from the outside perspective is that he had a lot of people supporting him, which allowed him to be able to do the things, make the money he could make, have the people around him that he needed to get the things done, to be able to do as much. I mean, you just quite literally, I don't think you can really say, yes, he had determination. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yes. I want to be clear that I am saying that he had determination. He had to put the will into place. But he also had support. You couldn't have gotten all of where he has gotten without that. And I think that that's sometimes good to acknowledge that when you have people who want to see you move forward and who have the time, the ability, the resources to help somebody, bolster them up and just get them the things that they need so they can do the job they need to do, disability or not, really, it changes the playing field. So there's a lot of directions I could go with that, and a longer conversation that would be a blast to have with people about that. But at the same time, I also agree with his message. So just to also be really clear about that. Obviously, he went being at 21 and being told, okay, you're done. And then to live to, I don't remember what year he died, obviously not to 80, but 75 maybe, more so. That's pretty frickin' phenomenal. Three times plus you're what they expected. So, well, depending on how you count the years, if you count from birth or if you count from the day they said, okay, you don't have long to live, which would be well beyond that. So it's very cool. It's very exciting what he was able to exemplify in whatever. But I think even he has said, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I feel like that I read something, saw something, heard something that he had said, I recognize that I am also really beating the odds and I am an anomaly. But yeah, so I loved him on Big Bang Theory. I love the fact that they brought him in, and I think introduced him probably to a whole lot of new people as well. And I haven't read many of his books. I've read one. I know I've read one. I think I might have read two. And so one of the things that when Stephen Hawking comes up in my own head that I think about is in one of his books, I'm pretty confident it was a book and not a magazine article. Backstory. I've had the argument / discussion many times with people, especially in games of odds in gambling, where, it's like it's 99 to 1, right? 99% something's not going to happen, 1% that it's going to happen. And then sometimes you have the gut feeling and you make a decision on your gut instead of the odds. But I watch people take the 99% and go, oh, it's never going to happen. This thing is not going to happen. It's 99 to 1. It's never going to happen, right? What are the odds? 99 to 1. And then it happens. And they get really angry and upset because this wasn't supposed to happen. Like, how many times? But it can't happen. It's 99 to 1. And Stephen Hawking makes the point, if there's a really tiny 0% chance that something could happen, and then it happens, it was that tiny part of the pie that it happened to fall into. I still get the frustration when it's 99 to 1 and something happens. I get that that's annoying, but I wish I could duplicate some of the conversations that I've had around that, because I'd like, see, it's like we use this 99 to 1 thing as it will never happen, and then it does, and then we're like, it was 99 to 1, it wasn't supposed to happen. So Anyway, that's just one of the things I think about, because when I read that, it was like, yes, finally somebody understands me. Uh, anyway, thank you so much for hanging out and watching along with me. Happy birthday, Stephen Hawking. And I love that Google Doodle, is that what it's called? Made a thing of it. Very fun, very cool. All right, take care. See you soon. Bye.